Hello, everybody, and good evening. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I have some guests with me today from other time zones. I know you guys have heard me talk about how much I wanted to introduce you to my friends who went through the coaching program with me, and today is that day that you get to meet Jennifer Diamond and Lise Orren. Yay! So we're very excited. Waiting for some comments to kind of start happening so we can make sure everything is going okay. Not seeing anything yet, but let's just move on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. If anybody's out there, give us a little comment so we kind of know if we've got our comments working and if these guys can see stuff. That would be great. All right, let's just go and see if they kick in. And if, there we go, Apple. Apple
Hey,
says,
Apple.
so awesome to see Lise and Jennifer. Yes.
Yeah.
All
Hi,
right.
Apple.
So
Yes.
Todd is here, says hi, everyone. Aziara is here. Ozzy's doing the coaching program in January, folks. Oh, wow, that's great.
That's cool.
And Sunny is here from Temecula. I'm not sure where Temecula is.
I know where Temecula is.
Where is that, Jennifer?
It's in California. It's, I guess Southern California. Yeah, it's a really great little place. Well, it's not little, but and so good to see everybody on here. Hi, Apple. Hi, everybody.
Oh, Jill's here from Oceanside, California. Jill's a regular here. We recognize her.
Hi, Jill.
All right, so
Jill.
it's really important to me that you guys get to know these guys because they are like a staple part of my life right now, and they have got me through a lot of stuff lately. So I'm going to kick it off. And Jennifer, would you like to go first and just kind of introduce yourself and kind of give us a little background?
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much. I'm really excited that we're, able to all get together here, and I am really excited to see everybody in the chat. Thank you guys all for tuning in. So where do you begin? There's so much, but I'll try to wrap it up. I basically have had health issues my whole life. And so I've always been the patient, right? And I've always really been into health and trying to figure out like what works and how I could improve my health, all the diets and different fads and different things that I heard on TV or whatever. But basically, eventually, I realized that real food is, I don't want this to sound like cliche, but it really is medicine. And the right foods allows the body to just heal, and it healed me. And it still is healing me. And so I just wanted to share that with everybody. And so I decided to go into becoming a certified coach and just not to just be a coach, but to also know what it feels like to be not feeling well or, needing support and not knowing where to turn from. I'll just start there.
So to kind of be a mentor for people, kind of.
Yeah.
From your own experience, kind of, and everything that you've gone through. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think community and support is a huge factor, but there's so many things that are confusing. We get bombarded with different things that are supposed to be, good for us or help us. And sometimes navigating that by yourself can be tricky, especially if you're not feeling good. And so I understand that, from a personal standpoint. And I when I realized that food, good whole food, plants can give me like the life that I, I never knew I could have.
Right.
Then the first, I just want to share it with everyone. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And Lisa, how about you?
Well, back in like 2007, 2008, I tried going vegetarian, and I did that for a year or two. And then in 2009, I developed a soy intolerance. And so at the time, I was eating a lot of soy things, thinking I needed it to get the protein, right? Like Boca burgers and soy milk and all these soy kind of fake things. That was kind of what I was doing. And so I basically, when I couldn't eat soy anymore, I'm like, well, then obviously I can't be vegetarian, because where am I going to get my protein, right? So I went back, and I was eating like chicken, right? And then still having like yogurt and some cheese and stuff. And then I started, I want to say about 2015, I started having issues with, like, I couldn't eat carrots and I couldn't eat apples without getting like really, really bad pain in my stomach and bloating. And I just felt horrible. And I had no idea what was going on. And I happened to see in 2016, early that year, I saw Forks Over Knives, and everything they said made sense. And I'm like, well, I'm going to try this for a month just to see if it makes a difference. And I haven't gone back. That was now 8 years ago. And I can now eat apples. I can now eat carrots. And I realized after I watched Forks Over Knives, it opened up a lot about the education side of things, because here I was before thinking I had to have soy in order to be healthy, and or to get my protein, because I wasn't getting it from meat or anything. And I learned that so many other ways to get the protein in your diet, and we don't need nearly as much as everybody seems to always tell us, right? So, and what I like about the coaching thing is I can be there to help people navigate the problems I had trying to get into this lifestyle. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And that's my story.
And you see, everyone, that there's like this common thread where it's all like we had this epiphany, right? We realized that there was just something not going right, and then we all decided, hey, I got to make a change. And then once we made that change, we got excited about that change because we saw how good we felt. I mean, how many times have you guys heard me say, talking about the starch solution, where it was like I said, I couldn't deny how good I felt. And once you feel that, you want to share that with everyone. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about exactly what coaching is. A lot of people, I think that coaching is just like you're kind of like a drill sergeant that tells people what to do and things like that. And it's really not like that. And we've done a lot of talking about that. And Jennifer, you've had a lot of good points that you've made in our talks and things about coaching. And, what would you like to share with everybody about that?
Yeah.
And Lisa, feel free to chime in too at any time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do see in the chat people saying hello that are new, so I just want to acknowledge everybody. So what is coaching? Well, when I decided to go through the program, I thought I was going to learn how to tell people what to do. I mean, that's what I thought it was. So you're right, Cheryl, when you say, that people think that, and that's not it at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So I like to use this analogy if I can. Let's pretend we're all taking a road trip. So you, whoever the client is, are going to be the driver. And the coach is going to be the passenger or the co-pilot. And so, we know where we're going, right? You know where you want to be. Maybe you're trying to heal from something, diabetes or whatever. So that's the end, that's the destination. And so you're the driver and you're driving, but you have to watch the road. You don't have time to look around, but I have time to look around. I can see the trees, I could see the flowers, I could see other roads, all the details. And so I can say to you, oh, did you notice this? Do you want to do this? Should we go this direction? Should we think about, maybe this road is a better way to get to our destination, kind of thing? And then you, the driver, you make the decision, yes or no. And that's kind of how I see it in a nutshell. So coaches are there to help and to be a support, but also to be there when you have questions, to a point. But we're not doctors and we're not prescribing anything. And it's what do you think about that, guys? How do you think I did?
No, that's a great analogy. I think I like that one because we're not there to tell anybody what to do. We're there, I think, to listen to people and to guide them and to maybe give them options or maybe help them question what it is they're doing and why they're doing it, because a lot of people just do things automatically without really thinking about it. And so we can kind of see what they're doing and we can kind of question what's behind that. So maybe we can help them change that behavior.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. I mean, I've talked about my experiences in having a coach before, and, no one ever said to me, you have to do this, right? No one said to me, you're going to eat this or you're going to eat this way or anything like that. We had conversations, and in that conversation, sometimes I would go, maybe I should try this. What do you think? And I would come to a lot of conclusions on my own about what direction I should be going. And then I had this support system to help me get there. And for me, I feel like coaching is a support system. It's just it's a friend that just helps you on your worst day and just kind of, gives you a helping hand. You guys think that kind of?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would want to add, as far as like going back to my analogy for a minute, you need a destination, which would be a goal, which would be something that you would come up with on your own, deciding. You can have help with it. But if you don't know where you're going to, I mean, you're just going to drive around, which is nice. You can see things, right? But you're never going to get to your destination. And this way, you have a coach or coaches that can help you navigate the waters or the road. So, yeah.
And navigation is so important. And like you said earlier, there's so much information out there, right? And it comes at you. And if you're really starting to get into this and you're like diving deep and you're starting to read everything and you're starting to just be like, oh my gosh, this is too much. And then this person says this, and then this person says this, and then this person says this. And there's just all this confusion, and coaches can help you navigate through that to see where you want to land. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think we can also be there, like we're not telling them what their goal should be. I mean, maybe they just want to reduce the amount of meat and animal products they do. Maybe somebody else wants to go full in and be like Jennifer, which is, salt, oil, sugar, flour, alcohol. And did I miss any? Free?
Gluten, but you got it.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's all kinds of levels. I mean, and it's meeting them where they're at and then helping them, navigate that as best as possible to get the best outcome for them. Maybe they don't need to be perfect.
Right.
And I think the more health challenges somebody has, like the more they maybe have to be a little bit more diligent in what they're doing. But somebody who just wants to have a better overall health, just in general, they don't need to be quite as strict, right?
Right.
I mean,
And I
isn't
I
it
think
mean,
all three of us are kind of like, well, I think Lisa and I may be closer on the same page with the McDougall stuff, but I mean, like, everybody in our group is like kind of on a different page as far as that, right? Like, I think Jennifer is the most restrictive of all of us, I believe. And then I'm
I
probably the least restrictive of all of us.
but no
well,
matter where you are, it's doable, it's attainable, and depending on your goals, depending on, if you're ill, like you said, or if you're not, um, it's not about being hungry or just eating a carrot either. It's about understanding the quantity and the quality and allowing the food to help you. For me, for my own personal inflammation, oh my gosh, who knew, that the food I was eating was causing all kinds of problems. And when I just realized and tried it, and then I started feeling better, my numbers were better in my blood, my joints felt like I could move, I was like, oh my goodness. So it can happen for anyone, really.
And the joint thing, is that not crazy? Like, Lisa, did you have that too? Like, all of a sudden your joints just like aren't completely achy anymore and you feel like you have some flexibility?
well, I was lucky I didn't have any joint problems or anything. Like literally my only problem was my gut, you know, and that was it. Otherwise I felt I was healthy, but my gut was telling me different. But I was one of these people, I probably drank, like way back when, I drank like half a gallon of milk a day.
Oh, wow.
So I was like a big milk drinker. I never liked meat much, so I ate what I had to, but milk was one of those things I had a lot of, and I don't know if that's what led to some of my problems or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
Lisa, did you drink it because you liked the taste of it, or because you thought it did a body good, or like why?
well, I mean, I did like the taste of it. I mean, even though it was just skim milk, I still, but I was also one of these. I'm super lazy when it comes to cooking and stuff. And back in my 20s, one of my favorite dinners was a bowl of cereal.
Oh, wow.
That was my dinner probably 4 nights a week. I would have cereal for breakfast and dinner. So that was part of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We have
But
some
yeah.
comments. Diana says, yes, sometimes from the outside we see more things of what is going on than that they can't see. And that is very, very true. And Ollie's
agree with
Youth
that.
in Asia says self-reflection is difficult, and especially without the knowledge that a coach would have. That is true. Here's a question. I don't handle this, but this might be something one of you guys might know more about. Do they work with eating disorders like BED? I feel like that's probably something more for a registered dietitian or a doctor or something like that, but I'm not sure what BED is. Do either of you know what BED is?
No.
Is it bulimia disease? I'm not sure what the definition is, but I'm wondering if you're here, if you could put in the chat, um, uh, and we could even, I don't know if we could look it up, but I would say for me personally, I am open to working with anyone as long as it's a good fit, meaning the personality is good and you're feeling comfortable with me and I'm feeling comfortable with you. And if it's something like that, it's okay to bring in other people, like your other, team. It doesn't have
Right.
to be one or the other. So you can keep that in mind. Like maybe you are seeing somebody and they're advising you on a medical, what you need to do or your blood and you just need help implementing that. So that's where coaching would come in. We can help you stay on track and talk through options of what does this food mean and how many different ways can you get this mineral or whatever. And we can also talk to you about different ways of thinking about things that may help you to revisit a different way. Like, does that make sense, or should I give an example?
I think that makes sense. Like,
Okay.
Talking about the fact that having a team, like nobody is one-stop shopping when it comes to our health. We have all these different, like you said, a team around us. Like you have your GP, I have a heart guy. I mean, we have all these different things, but we're all driving towards that same goal. And we're all working together towards that same goal.
Yeah, and coaching is not, we're not competing with a dietitian or a nutritionist or anything like that. We can, talk to them with your permission, and we could all three together, as this is like a made up example, do different parts of the program to help you be successful. It's really customized for wherever you are and whatever level. So.
And Diana says, being a coach offers the accountability and support to help guide someone to where they want to be. And that is so true. And I think that's exactly what you guys were saying. Let's see. We have some other people that came in late. Jim says, may not be able to stay long driving. All right. Eleanor Rumming is here. And Ollie's Youth in Asia says, I can't do restrictions. It leads to a binge.
Okay, so the BEDIC, binge eating disorder. And like we talked about, right, Cheryl and Lisa, we talked about, having other people, other team players in place. But I think that there is a mental component to it. Our thoughts are, I know for myself and some clients that I've worked with, thoughts are powerful. They really are. And when we look at different ways to open up the mind and think in a different way, we can surprise ourselves, and we can be open to trying different things and seeing if that works. So,
and like, look at me, like the state that I've been in for the past, my whole world got turned upside down for the last 3 weeks. And it's just been one hit after another. And it's like, that's something really, really hard for me to navigate myself. And I have a wonderful, supportive spouse, but sometimes it's still too much. Sometimes I still need another person there holding my hand and trying to pull me through this and get me back on track, kind of thing. And that's really important. Because it's not, unicorns and roses every day for everyone, right? There are times when things hit. There's times when you get laid off from your job, when your dog passes away. It's just those things happen, and they have a really negative impact on the direction that you're trying to go, because suddenly you can't think like, I'm talking about myself, y'all, and these are my two people that can help me get through this, because 3 weeks now, I have just been a mess, and I just shove everything down. And every time I shove everything down, what am I doing? Just going blah, 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 blah. I'm not listening to my brain telling me, don't put that in your mouth. I'm not listening to my brain say you should go take a walk. It's just, I need somebody that maybe is just there with a hand on my shoulder saying, hey, did you think about you today? What you do for yourself today, kind of thing. And try to ask me the questions that make my brain kick back in and go, oh, wait, I was going that way, wasn't I? And then try to get me back on track again. And so it's very important, because a coach is somebody who can be in your corner and, patting you on the back and telling you when you're doing good, and also just holding that hand there when you just need to know that somebody's supporting you, even when you can't listen, right?
Yeah.
And I would say, even coaches need coaching.
It's
you know?
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And so we have each other, and and we extend it to others. But Cheryl, I agree with you, and I've experienced it myself. I mean, some major changes are things that happen and they're out of my control, but they're going to affect me, or they're going to affect my household. And
Exactly.
what's the first thing I do? I know better. And even if it's the right food, I'll sometimes notice, like, okay, there I am with the refrigerator doors open, and I'm looking, and even if it's a tomato, or, well, I don't keep tomatoes in the refrigerator, but whatever it is, even if it's a compliant food that I'm okay with,
Hmm.
the fact that I'm doing old behaviors of standing there instead
Hmm.
of dealing with whatever's going on, I'm just now aware. Okay, I got to say to myself, what is going on here, and what's the better way to deal with it? And reaching out to people like you guys and having community, really, you're right. It really, really helps.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Mona made it. So Mona is here.
Hi, Mona.
Mona,
Awesome.
hi, everybody.
And Apple says the mental clarity is my favorite thing with eating whole food, plant based.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that, and as a person that is kind of neurospicy, I noticed that when I eat better, I think better. Things are just more at a nice even keel. And when I start, ripping the pantry apart looking for that, 2-year-old bag of oat chocolate chips that I know have to be in there somewhere, right?
Very.
My brain is not thinking correctly. And my brain is just like telling me, oh, this is going to make you better. This is going to make you better. And it's not, you know. But today, when I ate the rice with the tofu and the vegetables, I felt better. I had been angry all day today. I have just been in like this just state of anger, right? And we tried to walk it out. She tried to kill me with the walk today. We went on all these hills, and it was like 4 miles of just up and down and up and down. And at one point, I thought we were lost. We actually had to pull the phones out to figure out how to get back to the house. And then when I ate dinner, and I just kind of let the vegetables and the tofu and stuff just kind of wash over me a little bit, and I really felt better after, just letting my brain sit there and enjoy that nice meal. So it really helped me a lot. All right, I'm getting behind on all this. Let me see if I can get caught up. All right. Okay. Yes, and Ollie's euthanasia says BED is binge eating disorder, and it's difficult to manage on a vegan diet. Okay.
So,
And Mona says, I just read tofu has all the amino acids necessary along with the other nutrients. I wasn't aware.
yeah.
And Ollie says, the waiting list for a dietitian in Canada is many months. All right. Now we have a question for the group from Diana. How do you work with people that do not live in a clean environment to stay compliant with vegan, plant-based to reach our goals? And I'm going to turn that over to each of you because I think each of you have lived in that exact situation. So whoever wants to go first, go for it.
So I was living with my 90-year-old mother-in-law, and she ate pretty much all kinds of stuff. So, but she had her refrigerator, and then I'm lucky enough that I had a base. I had my own kitchen in the basement, so I was able to kind of keep our food completely separate. But I know not everybody has that luxury. So, and then, after a while, some things that you used to think was fantastic, like I used to love like cinnamon rolls, and now they don't even appeal to me at all. So I think after a while, you kind of, certain foods are no longer a trigger for you, but it takes a while to get there. So you just, And I mean, if worse comes to worse, you have to ask the other person if they can keep the food separate or locked up, or something where it doesn't trigger you, because that can be a problem, especially at the beginning. I think the longer you're in it, the easier it is to live in a not so clean environment. So what do you think, Jennifer?
Okay, so I want to make sure that I address it correctly. Can you reread that, or is it already gone? The
No,
question is,
sure. I'll pop it back up there for you. How do you work with people that do not live in a clean environment to stay compliant with vegan plant-based to reach our goals?
okay, so first of all, the people that I like to work with, um, I want I want to work with people that are motivated to improve. And so you got to have a game plan, and it's different for everybody, um, depending on what the situation is. So I'll share my own personal. I do not live in a clean environment, and I don't know. Some people that I know that I get um, neighbors and friends and different people, they think that, I have it all together. And I try my best, but it's still a challenge for me at times. So having, first of all, knowing that that's a something that you want to work on, right? And being motivated to handle it. There are different things, right? So I have a different pantry. We have different refrigerators, but that doesn't stop me from going in the other pantry. But if I make sure that I pay attention, okay, stop myself. What am I doing? I'm hungry. Okay, so I'm hungry. So I'm looking for something that's highly caloric, that's going to be satisfying and give me that dopamine for energy and mood enhancement. So, but if I take a step back and go, I can have that after I have my food, even though honestly I'm not going to do that, but I can tell myself that, and eat my food. Usually I'm over that. Or if I need a dessert, I can make an ice cream, or I can have, something else. It's being prepared, but it isn't always easy. And that's another thing about having a coach or a community, to reach out to others so that you don't feel isolated and you don't feel alone in it. Um, Sometimes I've felt, often, even now, right, that it's not fair. This is not fair that, this happened to me. I have to do it this way. Not that I don't enjoy it, because I love my food. But sometimes I want the convenience that, say, my husband allows himself, driving down the street and getting something. I wish I could drive somewhere and someone could hand me my food. And so in order to do that, I just have to plan and make it ahead. So, I don't know. That's what
Or
I
live
would
in
say.
Sacramento? So Mona, actually that leads into Mona's next question is, thoughts seem to easily derail me. Any insight on how to stop going to the negative side? And I think you kind of just touched on that a little bit,
Can I say one more thing about it without hogging this? I just had
Oh, absolutely. You can talk as much as you want. Lisa, I
Okay.
don't have a problem with it. Do you have a problem with it, Lisa?
No.
No? You're fine with it.
Okay, good. So, something that I do is I realize that my brain and not my brain, my thoughts are not me. My thoughts are my thoughts. If I change my thoughts, so if I listen to a song and it brings me back to a memory, for example, and I feel sad or happy, whatever, I feel an emotion attached to that music. My body that's not who I am. That's a thought. Because if I change that thought, if I do something different to bring on either another idea or another memory or another future hope, whatever, I'm going to have a different outcome in my self. Does that make sense? So it's like being in tune and understanding that I'm not my thoughts. My thoughts are thoughts, and they come and they go, but I don't have to act on every single thought that I have. I can acknowledge it and allow it to go by. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. I early on when I was working with Howard Jacobson, when he was coaching me, one of the things that, I was trying to do was like figure out who my inner saboteur was, right? And like, who is that inner saboteur? And giving that inner saboteur a personality so that I could be like, shut up, right? Just get out of my brain. I don't need you here. And it was funny because at the time, it was like around Halloween time, and I chose Pennywise the clown. Because, just that evil kind of menacing look, and just, from the movies and stuff, how Pennywise was always like, da, 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 da. So I just was like, yeah, Pennywise gets in my head, and so I have to keep shoving Pennywise out, and then Pennywise tries to get back in again, and so I would just be like, shut up, Pennywise. And, it was silly, but it really gave me this like thing to hold on to when I really needed it. And to know that it's like, my thoughts aren't me right now. I need to put them onto Pennywise, and it really helped. It really helped a lot. Have you done anything like that, Lisa?
No, I mean, I found for me, meditation really helps because it helps you be more in the now. And that's so I just found an app that I use, and that just helps me, just center myself and kind of get focus on your breath and kind of let those negative thoughts kind of, fall to the backside while I, think about the here and now. And then that gets me kind of back on a better mindset, I think.
And Kelly says at Mona, thanks for asking the question. I had the same one. So glad we are helping a couple people. And let's see, Aziara, I think I'm still saying that name right from the last time, says, do you give presentations to groups on transitioning to the whole food plant-based lifestyle or just individuals? When I get my certificate, I'm envision doing presentations at the local senior center. I'm 65 for anyone.
Yeah, I do group, I do individual. We can even do multiple coaches. I think that we're, I'll just speak for myself. I'm open and do all of the above.
Yeah.
And I am open to doing all of the above as well at some point. I think reaching out to the community is really, really important to get involved with the community, especially like I love the idea of you going to a senior center because a lot of people, a lot of the seniors, we have a lot of seniors in our community, and it's because they've watched Forks Over Knives or something like that, and now they're curious. They're curious, and they just need a little help trying that out a lot. And I think it's a great idea. How about you, Lisa?
Yeah, well, I mean, the course itself actually focused a bit on the community as well. They got into how you can go out there and give presentations and be more impactful in your community. So I mean, they did actually have a whole section in the course on that too. So, and I mean, there's so many different things you can do with this. I find, you can help the people who don't have the resources by doing presentations like that. You could do group coaching or individual coaching and all that. So, yeah.
Even at some local markets, around here, we have some local markets that have kitchens in them, or like YMCA or, even like a church group or anywhere like that are good places to look for, the possibility as well.
Okay. And lots of people saying hi that have popped in. Let's see. Linda is here. Hello, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Pix is here.
Hi.
Who else did we get that we missed coming in? Jeremy is here. Jeremy says we got the whole crew tonight. Apple says, big Howard Jacobson fan here. I think taking the course like kind of reinforced to me like how much Howard got into my head. And then while listening to him giving lecture, like, you know, just listening to some of the calls and stuff with him, and it was like, oh, he did that to me. Oh, he did that to me too. And it kind of helped me to understand things better because I was like, oh yeah, that's how that works. So I thought it was really helpful. I know there are some people, I've been getting some emails and stuff, and I don't know if you guys have, but there were some people who were asking some questions at one point. I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before, but had sent me emails about asking questions about the program itself that we took.
Ooh.
And so if you guys would like to give your opinions on how you felt about the program that we took, I have said several times myself that it was done in an interview style, which is not always easy for me to learn in, but with the other things that accompanied it enabled me to learn what I needed to learn to get through everything. And so you guys, like, what were some parts that stuck out to you as something that were like really impactful that you learned during the course?
Well, I would say the thing I enjoyed the most about the course was they had what they call practice pods, which were live Zoom calls with other students, and then they would talk to you a bit about, you know, an idea of, you know, a way to talk to clients and something, and then we would go into these smaller rooms with other individuals, you know, one or two other people, and we would practice on each other what we had just learned. And I found that was probably the most valuable part of the whole course. And then obviously finding you guys and kind of we formed our own study group, and you
Yeah.
know, we met on a regular basis throughout the
Yeah.
course too, and we helped each other out, and we've you know, offered support. And I think a lot of people got made their own little communities through this course and found their people, which I think is invaluable as well.
Yeah, I mean, just like, you know, having this group of ladies, and there is one more member of our group who could not attend tonight, and don't want to discount her, but she is also very intricate in our lives, and hopefully we'll be able to introduce her to you at some point as well. But we are missing her tonight, and I hope she knows that. But yeah, just Kathy has said to me so many times, like, how much you guys have impacted my life. Like, she has mentioned to me several times about how she can tell when I've gotten off of a call with you guys, because I've got just a little bit more spring in my step. I'm not moping around anymore. I'm energized to try to do something where all my ideas are flying around and everything, but I'm still energized about it, right? And so that's been very valuable to me. And I think anytime you can take something and come out of it with lifelong friends, it's so worth it. It's so worth it to me.
Me too. So what about you, Jennifer? What did you take out of the course, or you like so much?
Yeah, there was a lot. You know, and like it's already been said, it was a different style than like a traditional course, right? There wasn't like a book, and but the interview style, there were transcripts, so you could follow along if depending on the type of learning style that works for you. And some of it was pre-recorded, and there were some things that were live, so you had an opportunity to ask questions, which I thought was nice. They also had you know, it wasn't Facebook, but they had a community that is similar to that style. So you could reach out and ask questions, and anybody can, you know, chime in. So that was really nice. And they had it divided up into different pillars. So there was a coaching pillar, there was a nutrition pillar, and then there was an impact pillar. And the coaching and the nutrition is basically what they had us tested on. And the impact pillar was more of the business side. And that was like a bonus thing. And you know, it was really good, but I did have to figure out what way works for me. And sometimes I thought I wasn't getting anything out of it. And then I would be talking and I realized, oh my gosh, I actually learned a lot. So, yeah, I too agree with you. Like having the interaction and practices was very, very helpful.
Yeah. And I missed so much of that because I was working. And, you know, in my previous job, I didn't have a lot of autonomy. And so one of the things that I used to hate was I would block out the time on my calendar for those events. And somebody would schedule meetings right over the top of them. And, you know, so in a way, getting laid off might have been the best thing because now I can like go back and focus on some stuff that I wanted to focus on back there. But one of the things I wanted to say about the nutrition part was that was something that was really helpful to me because when I decided to do this, because I live with Kathy, I didn't necessarily like dive into nutrition and things like that. I just basically would say like, hey, can I eat this? So being able to learn, you know, some nutrition stuff behind that really helped me to be able to make my own decisions and make some of my own food, which was very impactful for me and very impactful for Kathy. And so, you know, she didn't have to keep answering my questions all the time. But yeah, I think there were times like Jennifer where I felt like I wasn't really getting anything, and then all of a sudden, like I would be having a conversation with somebody, and all of a sudden I'd be like blah 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 blah, blah. And then I'd be like, whoa, where'd that come from? And do you guys remember the first test? How panicked we all were.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, we were so panicked, like all of us, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And so
what if we don't pass? What if we don't pass?
We were all so panicked. But, you know, you got, you know, 4 people on a Zoom call that are all like, when we were all in school, we were that person that like had to get an A on everything, right? And so we were all just like, ah! And so, I mean, one night I even like started shoving transcripts into Chat GPT. Do you remember that?
That's right,
So that
yeah.
I could spit out practice tests for everybody. I mean, oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and we were studying those practice tests, and that was before we even knew what we were being tested on.
we were just guessing.
It was so fun. It was fun. It's fun to look back at that now.
It is. And Diana says that she is in the process of completing the T. Colin Campbell plant-based certification course. That's fantastic. I have not done that. Have you guys done that?
I did it. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good course.
I have not done it yet, but you know, you never know what the future holds.
I'm thinking about it because, you know, a lot of the people that we run with here in the Durham area were all part of the Plant Pure Pods, which were part of the Campbell stuff. So I've thought about it, just kind of get more in tune with everybody in that group.
And there's a lot of the same people actually teaching in both courses. There was some crossover there too.
That's awesome.
So Lisa, what was the style of that compared to like what we did?
Well, it was again but it was watching, you know, pre-recorded, you know, talks by different plant-based people that we know, but a lot of them had like a slideshow where I felt like the food revolution one was like Cheryl said, it was more like interviews, and we didn't get the presentations. You didn't get the slides and stuff. So this one you got the slides and rather than the interview.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah. We had worksheets and downloads, handouts, and different things too. And and I just want to be clear that it wasn't really presentation style. It was two people talking. Sometimes it was the coaches talking with each other about a topic, and sometimes it was like, doctors or different people. And we were watching their interaction. So that's why I keep saying it was a different kind of
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that out there, Brenda Davis was one of the teachers. The Scherzeyes were there. We got Howard Jacobson on the coaching side.
McKinney.
Hey,
I don't know her last name, but McKinney, yeah. And then Tracy as well. What's her last name? Tracy Garrigan.
Oregon.
So so they were kind of on the coaching side, and then on the nutrition side, we had just all kinds of people. I mean,
Yeah, we had one of the guys who was really active in the community answering questions was a professor.
Roman.
He's a professor at East Carolina University, and he had lots of good things to interact with there too. There's so many people involved in this. It was a much. When you look back at all of it, it was just such a much larger staff than what you anticipated.
Yeah.
Like there was always somebody coming in and just, wow,
Dr. Clapper was, and he would also show up. He would also show up because not only did we have the practice pods, but then we had in 1 month we'd have 2 practice pods, and then we'd have what they called a coaching breakout where the coaches would be there and they would talk to us a little bit, and then we could ask them questions, and then they would have a nutrition one as well, where they would have Brenda Davis there to answer our questions. Roman would be there. Dr. Clapper was there. So we could actually ask them any kind of questions we had. So that was kind of nice. So it gave us more access. And then once a month we would have what did they call that? The mastermind with Ocean.
With Ocean.
So we would have a live Zoom with Ocean, and he would talk about kind of what they were doing in the community and stuff, and then we could ask him questions as well. So I mean, they gave us a lot of access between these Zoom meetings, and then also like the community forum that they had on their own website. So there was access. You could get any question answered at any time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
even sometimes Howie would answer the question by making a video about it.
Yeah.
Did you guys do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you could he'll say, well, there's so much to share about this. I'm just going to make a video.
Yeah. And then it was and it wasn't just 10 or 15-minute video either. Like some of them got pretty lengthy.
Yeah.
Apple was just saying, is the Food Revolution Network the course that Ocean Robbins started? Who are some of the instructors? I think we just kind of went through that a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah.
There were chefs. I mean, there were so many people that we didn't even touch on.
Yeah. Cause Nicole
Russer.
Oh, yes,
Yeah. She works with Ocean at Food Revolution. She was there also in some of the stuff that we learned. So, and she's a dietitian, and she taught us did some food demo type stuff as well.
Yeah. And Melinda Cohen did a lot of the impact type pillar.
Yeah. She's a coach of coaches is what she is. And she has her own program that you can buy into or whatever. Yeah.
Teaching
GA
coaches
says,
how to do the business side of it.
Yeah. GA says, yay, just love Cheryl and Jennifer and look forward to getting to know your new gal pal. That would be you, Lisa.
Thanks.
Simply Obs is here. Hey. Good to see you. All right. And one anti-venom asks, is there a high demand in North Carolina for coaches? It could potentially be a nice partial career change for me at my old age of 53. You're a baby, 53.
Well,
There
I
is
think
there.
yeah.
I don't know if there's a high demand, but there is a demand for any kind of whole food plant-based coach. Like I feel like countrywide right now. In
Even worldwide, I would say
yeah.
worldwide, because there were people in our course from other countries as well, and
Yeah.
so
Well, and the beautiful part is with Zoom, we can coach people anywhere in the world pretty much. So we're not limited to just where you live. You can basically coach people anywhere.
Right. That is true. Let's see. Get through some more questions. I was getting a little bit
and
behind.
there's different types of coaching too, right? So some people like to go into a certain niche, or they like a certain topic that they specialize in. Some people are more broad, and so there's room. I mean, coaching, we use the word, it's very it covers a lot, but within it there's so many pockets or places that need it. Even in, you can go in, you don't have to do like what we do. You can go into like the school systems or the hospital systems and try to, on a bigger scale, try to change the food that is being served to patients or being served to kids in public schools. And, there's all kinds of places to go with it. And I also feel like in the Western medicine world, just from my own personal experience with my own medical team, have heard that it's starting to reach them about the value of nutrition. So even in medical offices or lifestyle medicine offices, you can find your place in there to partner up with doctors who want their patients, cancer patients, or any other kind of patient, to help them and teach them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And part of the impact one as well was they gave you, there were 3 sections to the impact. There was, to be self-employed. There was one to be an employee, and then the third one was the community one. So they there was different options even there. So that was
Yeah. And like one of the things that I was kind of noticing too, as far as, talking about changes and things, you used to be, if I went to see the cardiologist or something, you said you were eating like a whole food plant-based diet, they would kind of like, furl their eyebrows up a little bit and worry about you not getting something, right? And now, 87 pounds later, I go in to see the cardiologist and he's like, whatever you're doing, keep doing. I don't care what it is, just keep doing it, right? He says, like, I say, well, I'm eating whole food plant-based, and he's like, it's working for you. It's working for you.
Yeah,
And,
87 pounds. We should, woo, woo. That's great.
It's taken a long time, and I still got a ways to go, but I mean, the past couple years have been very significant in that.
I want to say, meet yourself where you are. Give yourself grace and love, and be proud, because that's a great accomplishment.
It is.
But
it is. It is.
But it's kind of sad that your doctor didn't want to learn about what you've been doing, right?
Right. Just whatever you're doing.
They just don't seem to care, right? I mean, and if they could get that knowledge and then share it with other people, which was kind of cool. There was even some doctors in our course with us.
Yeah.
Who want to expand
and some nurses
on their,
too. Like some nurses were in
and
there
dietitians,
too.
I think.
Well, one of the cool things is, and I don't think I talked to you guys a lot about my stress test yet.
Not yet, no.
So one of the cool things was when I was in for my stress test, they put me in a room, like they have a separate waiting room, when it's like one of those hurry up and wait kind of situations. They inject the stuff and then you got to wait an hour for it to get all through your system and all. And then they put me in this room where these other ladies were coming in, and like conversations would come up about, somebody asked me, when it came time for me to eat my sandwich, asked me what kind of sandwich I had. And I was just like, oh, this is just a vegan sandwich. And they were like, really? And then, the fascination and the questions started coming about that. And they're like, you eat like that all the time? And I'm like, oh, I don't usually eat sandwiches, but this seemed like the easiest thing for me to to take here, but like if I would have had my way, I probably would have had a big old bowl of rice and some vegetables. And they just looked at me like I was crazy. But the one woman who was sitting across from me, she actually had heart surgery at a very young age, like 40 something. And so every year she has to get a test like this. And she was in her 50s now. I think she's probably my age or maybe a year younger. And she kind of perked up and she was kind of like, yeah, I'm trying to eat more vegetables. I'm trying to eat more vegetarian and everything. And she said, I'm very curious about that. And I said, well, have you watched Forks Over Knives or any of those things? And she said, no, I haven't really watched any of that, but I'm going to put that on my list. So I thought that was a great, like, here you are just in this doctor's office with all these people. And I feel like doctors today, they just, the way they have them running around, they don't have the time to really like sit down and talk to somebody about that. You know, I think the days of having a doctor that you spend, 30 or 45 minutes with and go over everything is kind of like you feel very rushed through now. At least that's my experience that I've been having with doctors.
Yeah. Well, I think in the U.S. especially, like we're in the USA, two of us, and the system isn't structured to do that anymore. They're told that they have so much time, and I think it has to do with what the insurance company dictates, because unfortunately, it's a business. So,
Yeah.
I'll leave it there.
It's crazy. While Lisa sits there and goes, well, I don't know what you're talking about in Canada. We're all right.
No,
Right, tell us.
no, I think it's the same. I just personally don't go to the doctor, so I can't really talk much about it.
That's a new practice that I'm trying, right? So, yeah.
And let's see, Ron Milford has joined us. Hello, Ron. Good to have you here. Ron says, I hope all are safe in North Carolina. Our area did not get a lot of damage. We had some flooding, but nothing like the western part of the state. The western part of the state is still in a really, really bad state. Pretty much half of our state is gone. Like the western half of the state has just been destroyed. It's going to take a long time to rebuild. Some of those cities are just little towns that just don't exist anymore. It's very sad. I don't want to go into a lot of it because it's also a lot of the stress that I'm feeling right now, because it's like you can't turn on the news here or look at anything online without something about that coming up, and it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
All right. So Aziara says, oh my God, I can't wait until January when it starts. I've taken Dr. Furman's certification course 10 plus years ago and Dr. Clapper's Moving Medicine Forward seminar. Oh, you're going to love it.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
and there were a
such a good
couple of
time.
talks by Furman too on there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
was
That's
also
right.
one of the instructors. Yeah.
Gosh, there were so many. Like I just like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's hard to remember all of them, right?
yeah. I
was kind of-
really
kind of-
enjoyed the Dr. Clapper ones, though. I really enjoy him. He's just kind of like matter of fact, kind of, he's very fun.
He is. Yeah. Well, good for you.
See, and one Annie Venom says, good point on Zoom coaching. I love the idea of more and more people joining us in a way of eating better for us, the planet, and the animals.
Exactly.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Lydia says, got here late.
Hi, Lydia.
All right. Just some more highs to Lydia going on. Kathy's answering some questions about North Carolina, Western North Carolina. And Aziara says that they are pre-planning for their second act, retiring in a year or two. So I think that's a great choice. Which
That is a great choice.
was kind of where I was going with it too. I was that was one of the things that when we early on just kind of came together as a group, and I was like, well, I'm going to do this so that I had this plan that I'm going to slowly, move into Kathy's business and start my own stuff and just slowly kind of ease out of my job. And then the universe had other plans for me, didn't it?
Oh, I love that you said that. I love that you said that, because I have said that to my husband when things in his work world weren't going well. And it's true. I believe that if we just listen to the universe, sometimes it's
Right.
got another plan for us.
Well, and if you'd have asked me that 4 hours ago, I would never have said that. But again, I'm on with you guys who positively impact me whenever I'm around you. I always feel better after I've been around you for a little bit. So it's your fault that I'm having this very giddy, positive moment.
Yeah.
That I'm actually starting to feel really good about the day now. So, which I wasn't earlier at all. So this is the power of these two women, you guys. I'm just being in the same vicinity with them actually makes my whole psyche better.
Yeah, I feel the same.
You have the same effect, so don't think you don't. And that's a thing. Community. It's so uplifting. Mm-hmm. And so I'm grateful for these women as well. So grateful.
Yeah, we've all been through a lot since we met each other, and I think we've really helped each other get through it as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, every one of us has had something crazy just like go on, and just we've gotten through it together. It's been just crazy time. And I did miss a comment right here that I wanted to make sure that I posted. Lydia says, I've been watching Jennifer Diamond's channel with a big smiley face.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and welcome to it.
And we are so proud of you for being the first of us to just go for it.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it, and that encouragement is really helpful, because it's new territory for me, and it's something that I have never done. But the power that I felt, the force inside that I felt to share what had happened to me and how I came out of it was so strong that it just was something that I just had to at least try, even if I just got to talk to one person, right, and make a difference in one person's life. That would have been enough. But of course, I always get greedy, and I'd like to reach more people to help more people. So thank you, Lydia.
And I will say to you, the universe had other plans for you as well.
Yep, you're right. You're right a lot.
And Apple says, I had rice with veggies for dinner today. I call it my Cheryl bowl now.
That's great.
I love that. That's fantastic.
I love rice. There was some live, maybe 3 weeks ago or something, where somebody said, what's my favorite starch or something like that. And I said rice, brown rice, white rice, purple rice, black rice. I was just going through all the rices. I do have a thing about rice.
Yeah.
And Apple, who is also in Canada, says, our healthcare system is breaking down quickly up in the Great White North.
Oh. Yeah. Darn. Always is.
Yeah, that is sad. Still looking. Let's see. Ollie's Youth says, I like sushi rice, but not fish. I order sushi rice as a side when we go to sushi. I also get cucumber rolls.
Ooh.
We have a place here that we haven't been there in forever, but they do like 10. Very rarely, if you go to a place that has sushi stuff, do you see as many vegetable options. But this place has 10 vegan sushi rolls on their menu.
Nice.
It's just amazing. But I mean, why not? It's just it's vegetables, right? Vegetables and rice. You just, aside from the seaweed part of it, I'm not a fan. I don't do that. But the whole idea of just like wrapping vegetables and rice appeals to me if they would do away with the seaweed part of it. I can't.
Yeah. I really like the nori and the seaweed, but my husband doesn't. Have you seen their like soy paper that they sell? If you ever wanted to even just cut it up and put it in a bowl, he really likes that. Have you heard of that?
Kathy made something for me one time, and I can't remember what it is. Maybe she'll put it in the chat or something, because I think she's listening to us. But
she knows how to make soy paper.
she
knows how to make. She's amazing. she makes everything.
She made me some kind of sushi thing that was like a little rice pocket with like tofu in it, and I can't remember exactly what all went into that, but I feel like there was some kind of paper involved in that, but I'm not 100% because I don't cook here. Not anything fancy. I use lots of powders and sauces. That's my thing. If it can go on rice, I do it. Let's see. And Lydia's saying, is Lise Orren in Canada? Yes.
Yes, I'm up in Edmonton, Alberta.
Nice.
Okay, my dogs are going a little crazy right now. So.
Oh, I thought that was Jennifer's dog.
Oh no! I think he's got more of a high-pitched voice.
Oh, that's right. He's a tiny little thing, isn't he?
He's a little guy, yeah.
All right, and let's see what else we got. Lydia's saying, I also love Dr. Clapper. Definitely.
Yeah, amazing.
And Jennifer Williams says, congratulations, ladies. The world needs more knowledge about plant-based eating, and the fact that you will be offering support and resources for people will be beneficial. Appreciate you all.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really nice comment. They all are.
Yeah. I'm not putting everything up today because we are trying to conserve time and not keep everybody for hours. These guys aren't used to marathon like nights like I am and you guys are. So we gotta kind of give them a break after a little bit. So Simply Ob says the universe does tell us some stuff, and it does.
Oh yeah, and it's really important to listen. You know, sometimes in the past I didn't really listen, and then it seems like it starts shouting louder.
It's true, it does. It does.
Okay, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, and then there's the whole we talk a lot with some of our friends about manifestation and things like that when it comes, we try to manifest good in our lives and things like that. And I don't think I told you guys this, but there was a point after I got laid off that I looked at Kathy and I said, I think this is all my fault. And she was like, why do you think that? And I said, because all the way home from Florida, I kept thinking, man, wouldn't it be nice if I could just go whenever I wanted to and just work from wherever I wanted to without having to answer to anybody about vacation time. And the next day, the universe delivered. So I still haven't really experienced what freedom that feels like, right? I still don't feel untethered yet from them because there's still, to me, there's unresolved business kind of thing. And I need to feel what it's like to actually go on a vacation and not do my work that I did for them. I think once that happens, I think that's going to clear everything up for me, but it's always been, you guys know, I was constantly working on my days off, on the weekends, late into the evenings.
Yeah.
And it was hard.
So Cheryl, where are you going to go now? You got to go somewhere.
She's going next week, right?
Next week we're going, we already had this planned, and it's funny because this trip that we already had planned for the ECAM camp, thing where we're going to learn all sorts of cool new stuff, and Simply Obs is going to be there with us. And we had that planned, but I was really concerned about it because I really was going to have to work the first half of the trip. I was going to have to work, and I actually was thinking seriously of just going and working at our corporate offices that are in the next town over from where we're going. And I was feeling bad because I knew Kathy wanted to go into Salem and all this, and I kept, in my mind, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to work and do all these fun things that we want to do while we're there, right? And it was really stressing me out a little bit, but now I'm kind of like, ooh, we can do whatever we want. So it's going to be fun. I love a road trip. I love to drive. Driving clears my head. So I think it's going to be great. And then once we get there, we're going to go to Blaze, to the pumpkin thing I told you guys about.
Yes.
And that's in Sleepy Hollow. And then we're going to go to Salem. And we're going to try to do some video from Salem for everybody, because over on the Heartbeat network that we have in our Heartbeat community, we have a movement thing going on right now where everybody is trying to walk with us from Durham to Salem. And so when they exercise or do any kind of movement, they earn points that translate into miles to get to Salem. And so the goal is for everybody to get to Salem by the end of the month. And so one of the things that we want to do is make sure that we actually walk around Salem and take some good video for them so that everybody can see what it's really like to walk around Salem. So that should be a lot of fun. We're going to do that.
That's fantastic.
Let's see. Char says, life is always unexpected. You never appreciate the good without going through the bad. I feel that. I feel that right now.
I would agree with that too. But it's hard to see it sometimes when you're in it.
Yeah. It's just, you're kind of like trying to, move around the red flags kind of thing. And Mona says, Jennifer is absolutely my Shiro. So.
Mona. Yeah, Mona, you're wonderful. I appreciate you.
And Lydia says, I think you're great, Jennifer.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting all the love. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, everybody. And, we all got to just hang on and help each other, right?
Right.
Support each other.
Ollie says, the next time we're all together, can we invite Katya? She's really funny. Jennifer, I don't know if you know Katya.
I don't.
Lisa, you've seen Katya.
Yeah, I've seen her on your show.
Kathy's stuff,
on Kathy's show.
She's a Russian weightlifter, and she is hilarious.
Okay, you recently had her on.
Yeah, she was on.
I think I caught just part of it, so I need to finish watching that.
Yeah, so she's going to be doing a lot of her own thing for a while, but if we can get her back on, we'll get her back on, because she is hilarious. And yes, as Jill points out, Katya is not a whole food plant-based coach. However, Katya is a trainer for like exercise and things like that. So she could be part of a team situation there, right?
Yeah.
Kathy says she makes onigiri for me. Do you know what onigiri is?
Well, it's got to be something like what we were talking about.
Yeah, it's like a sushi kind of thing, but it doesn't have seaweed.
Oh, so it's without, is that what the pockets were that you were talking about, maybe?
Yeah, they're kind of pockety. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she makes. Yeah. And I think that I've actually seen them on the menu somewhere one time too, and I can't remember where that was, but, oh, wait. She coming. She's gonna come answer the questions because I'm just out here going floundering around about food, right? So let's let the expert chime in.
Hey everybody, I can't hear everybody, but the onigiri, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm too short to be in here. It's like you use the sushi rice and you make a ball. Sometimes they're a little thick triangles, and you put something inside of it. So you could put avocado, you could put umabashi plum in it.
Tofu.
You could put tofu in it. And typically, so there's a square like this, and they have a
triangle.
strip of seaweed. We just don't put that on. It's so that you don't get your hands sticky. And if you guys know Chef Julia, she's awesome. And so she is part Japanese. So she just did a sushi class, but she does onigiri as well and makes fun of how I say it, which is fair. But that's one thing you could do. I put in the notes too. I haven't tried it, but there's yuba, which is tofu skin. It's like when you're making soy milk, right? Like if you make soy milk, there's this delicious, it's weird because in any other context, it would be gross, but it like makes a skin on the top. If you see that, you snag it and eat it and see what you think because it's delicious. It's like the most
Do you
delightful
cook it?
thing.
Don't you have to cook that?
Well, soy milk has already been cooked.
yeah, but that just sounds like gross.
No, it's delightful.
Okay.
It's one of the most, so like I've had faux duck made with that for decades. But you can buy them dried or not dried in sheets at the Asian market. And that might be good too. You would like that. They also make something called inari, but they're usually fried tofu pockets. So
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
you were thinking of inari.
Inari.
But you probably could make a whole food plant-based no oil version with yuba. So I'm going to put that on my to-do list.
Awesome.
And I'm going to go away again and let you guys. I'm sitting out on the deck listening to the frogs, not working like I was going to, but chatting instead.
Perfect.
That was great. Thank you.
Does
We
Todd
just
want us
learned
to
a
let
lot.
him in?
That's awesome.
All right.
You know what it reminded me of? She was saying there's something similar called an arancini. It's an Italian.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
that is?
The
it's like-
rice thing ball.
Yeah. They have different things inside. I guess traditionally they would put meat, but you could put mushrooms or any kind of vegetable you want. The only thing is those are deep fried. So I wonder if you could bake them. But when she was talking about the triangles, I started thinking about that because you were talking about it being something inside.
Yeah. And that's
You
what
could probably-
I was remembering. Go ahead.
You could
Sorry.
probably air fry them, Jennifer.
Yeah,
Instead
that
of
would be
deep
a
frying,
great
right?
idea.
Ooh,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
thinking baking, but air frying. I love the air fryer, you guys.
Yeah.
I love it.
Me too. Right there. Yep. I like the air fryer. I put everything in the air fryer, actually. I just feel like it gives everything a nice little crispy, kind of little crunch to it.
It
So
does.
Apple- Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
No,
just
no,
going to
you
say
go ahead.
my daughter, my youngest daughter, has loaned me hers because I don't own one, and I got really comfortable, and I think she's going to come and collect it soon. So
Oh, no.
I'll have to look into those next.
You have to put that on your Christmas list.
Yes, exactly.
So Apple has a great question for all three of us, and we should probably just wrap things up with this question, and then kind of do our ending stuff. So Apple says, question for all three, what will you do next with this certification? What's your dream? And I'm getting in trouble because I keep putting my hands in my face.
Down now. Put more than that. That's fine. You go like,
Well, I guess I'll start. What will I do next? You know, I just want to keep an open mind, and I want to keep the doors open. So I don't know where the end is, but I do know that I want to continue to learn as much as I can and continue to reach as many people as I can. in this space, because I think that I get the most joy out of it, reaching people and helping people. There's something about it that just brings me such a joy. So that's where I'd say for now, anyways. Subject to change. I don't know. Got to listen to the universe.
That's that giver in you hanging out there. Do you want to let everybody know how they can get in touch with you?
Oh, sure. Yes. You can reach me on my YouTube channel at The Jennifer Diamond on YouTube. I also have a web page, thejenniferdiamond.com, and you can read some information on there about coaching and other things. And I am a recipe developer, so sometimes you'll see me post stuff on Instagram. It's usually just pictures of food, and that's Diamond Girl 369. Somebody took the Jennifer Diamond, so I couldn't match it up. And then I do post a little bit on Facebook, and that's just my name, Jennifer Diamond. So yeah, I'd love to hear from anybody and help in any way that I can. It's been really fun.
Awesome. And what's your plans, Lisa?
Well, I mean, I'd like to transition. I'm currently do financial services, and I want to kind of transition out of that field and more into becoming a full-time, health coach and being able to help people who want the help. I don't want to be out there changing people who aren't interested in change.
Right.
I want to help people who want to but don't know how or need help doing it. So ideally, I just want to be able to do this full time eventually, and whether that's group coaching with you guys or individual or whatever that is, I'm open, and I'm just looking forward to using all my knowledge to hopefully help some people.
That's awesome. And for right now, if you guys want to get in touch with Lisa, you can email support@healthyslowcooking.com, and we will get that forwarded on to her.
Yeah, I'm still in the process of getting all my stuff set up.
Yeah, me too. That's why I said earlier, Jennifer was the gutsy one that decided to just go for it first, and so we're all going, yay, Jennifer, go, 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 so we can just go, okay, now what do we need to do? So
we're all doing it together, and
it's true.
Yeah. I do want to just say another thing that I thought of is I'd like to also continue to teach and coach through helping people learn how to cook, and just even the basic stuff, like, because some people when they change over, they don't even know where to begin, and that's something that I really enjoy, is working in groups and trying to help people understand how to use a knife and just the basic stuff, and making something beautiful to eat that doesn't harm. So
yeah, I mean, there's so many people, like, I have very little skills in the kitchen when it comes to like cooking like whole food plant-based stuff. Since I transitioned to whole food plant-based, I never really had to fend for myself, I guess. I'm living with Kathy. She's always creating something. She's always experimenting with something. So, I always used to laugh and just, I'm basically the dishwasher at healthyslowcooking.com. So,
no.
But
Cheryl, you need to, is there anything you want to say to answer the question yourself? Come on now.
So I'm going to put to lead into that. Aziara says, FYI, Cheryl, this Monday session inspired me to join a gym for workout classes geared towards 50 plus out of shape people. The first session was this morning, and I'll go 2 times a week. And that right there is what I want to do. That is my goal, is to just make people realize, well, I don't want to make people realize, I just want to help people understand that, yes, there's the eating portion of this, right? It's very important, the whole food plant-based stuff, the no oil, to keep things clean. It's very important to us. But the other part of that that's very important, especially as we age, is we've got to move. We've got to move our bodies. And it doesn't have to be this crazy running 2 miles around the block. It doesn't have to be all this huge impact. And that's why you'll start seeing, like, we're going to do some more stuff with like Rose Lapiano, who has done a couple workouts for us and stuff. And because I just think it's really important. And so I want to marry that eating, I want to marry getting healthy by moving, eating well, and then, our goal is better health, and if we lose a little weight along the way, better for us, right? So that's kind of where I'm trying to head with this, and hopefully soon I will have like a landing page at least that you guys can look at. But for now, I am just going to be doing these Monday things for a while and see how that goes. And you can get in touch with me at Healthy Slow Cooking, at support@healthyslowcooking.com as well. Let's see if we have any other questions before we wrap it up. Oh, dun, dun. Sorry, this is the part that I hate, is when I just go, and stare at I haven't got the cool flow thing yet, where I look at the questions and then actually be able to talk at the same time that I'm reading something.
I see Cindy's
over here.
asking Jennifer how heavy her weighted vest is.
Where do you see? Okay, let me find it.
Yes, I have a weighted vest. I started with an empty vest, and I am up to 10.5 pounds. And I have a lot of information on my vest on my channel, but I am going to reverse my osteoporosis diagnosis. I'm going to kick it into osteopenia. That's my goal. And so I do wear a vest 5 to 6 times a week, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a day. And it helps me. So yeah, and I also have some wrist weights on. I don't always wear those, but hopefully that helps answer your question.
That's awesome. I've been kind of interested in one of those vests, so maybe I'll talk to you about that next time we get together.
Yeah, sure. I'd love it.
And Natalie says, ladies, what a great conversation. We learned a lot and got a lot out of it. Thank you, everyone. And Apple has put your Instagram information, Jennifer, into the chat.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. And thank you, Apple. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's great.
And let's see. Okay, I'm close to the end, maybe? You guys can see it too, right? In case I missed something important.
I see some of it, but I don't have.
I see Tanya's.
Yeah.
Tanya's asking if you're moved. She's asking, did a time change or something for the?
Well, because we hadn't guests today, I thought it would be better if we kind of like made it so it wasn't like crazy times for everybody involved. So we went a little bit earlier, but I will probably pop back on at 9 o'clock next week. We'll probably be 9 o'clock, because I did get lots of emails from folks that were across the pond in various places that said that it was really nice for them to actually be able to participate live. So I'd like to keep doing that for them. And Kathy was also mentioning that Boomer and Beyond was talking about weighted vests in her last live with us. And let's see.
Cool.
Yeah, and then Kathy's just kind of popping in some information. She's working on a book. We don't have an exact release date on that yet, but it's going to be a good one. So look forward to that. She's saying that the pre-order should happen soonish. All right. Oh, and Tanya's saying 8 is actually good. So maybe we'll split the difference, and I'll do 8 o'clock for a while and see how that works for folks. But okay, ladies, I don't want to keep you much longer because I know you're not used to the marathon lives that go on for hours and hours. So it has been such a pleasure to get to introduce everybody to you because I talk about you guys all the time. And so this has been great for me, and it's just lifted my mood, like I said, and I'm so glad. And I'm so proud of both of you getting out there and doing the
Thank you.
things. And
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yes, and I want to say thank you to Kathy and to Cheryl for allowing us this platform to meet everybody. And Lisa, it's always fun to hang out with you. And you guys give me the same great high that that you claim to get. So it's all good, and I wish everybody big smiles and happy days and nights wherever you are. And if there's a question that you have for any of us, like earlier, just reach out, and we'd all be happy to help in any way we can. So thank you again.
Exactly. Yep. So everyone, we will probably have these lovely ladies on again in the future, just to check in and see where everybody's at as everybody grows into this new life of ours. But so glad to have everybody here. Thank you so much. Yes, Kathy's getting on me about me touching my face. So it's nervous. When I start to get nervous, you can tell because I'm all like kind of muffled. So, but anyhow, I always hate to say goodbye. So instead of goodbye, we're just going to say, see you guys next time. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. And everybody, have a great week.
Yes, and don't forget, eat your